And to wrap up the series, I would like to talk a little bit about the progression of training as you learn Tai Chi. If you are interested in learning more Tai Chi, or you're curious why we've learned these things in the order that we have and what the next steps would be in your Tai Chi training, I just kind of want to give you an overview of what that looks like and the reasoning behind it. So we've already talked about why we work on the standing, that building that internal strength and building that ability to cope with external stressors that we're kind of putting on ourselves for that training, finding that structure, finding that stability in our bodies. Once we have that, we move on to motion training, like we did with our silk ruling exercise. We're working on that silk ruling spiral through the body that twists and stretches, the connective tissue opens up the joints, and the movements are safe and not likely to cause injury as you go through them if you're maintaining that correct structure. After we have that concept of the spiral motion and the coordination through the body while maintaining that structure, we take it to another level. We start adding steps. So now we have to work on our balance. So we're just standing on one leg at a time and stepping out and keeping all the coordination going that we've worked on before. So as you can see, it's like stair steps. Each time we kind of build a foundation, we get a good solid place to start, and then we add something to that. And we incorporate that into our skills and into our body and into our ability to function. And after we get that down nice and solid and it's incorporated, we add something else. So it's a continuous build with skill and with refinement of the skills that we've learned previously. Typically at this point in your training, if you were to go on to learn more Tai Chi, what you would do is you would start learning an actual, what's called a form. And what that is a set of a certain amount of movements that starts, goes through these movements, and stops. And it's just a choreographed set of movements that is well established. And that gives you the ability to take the skills that we've developed in these exercises and apply them in a lot more variation of movements and put your body in positions where you really have to find the balance and the structure in those positions. That's more complex than what we did with just our cloud hands exercise. At that point, once you've learned the form and you have it down really well, whichever form you choose to learn, we've added basically all the stressors and variations to our body movement that we can without extra force coming from outside. So from that point in your training, you could go on to adding either the stressor of using a traditional weapon like a sword, and you could learn a form with a sword where now you have something that's not a part of you that you have to learn to move with while maintaining good structure and maintaining good stability and balance. So when I have taught sword forms to students in the past, a lot of times I would get the question, why are we learning a sword form? Like, nobody's using swords anymore. Like, the chances of getting a sword fight are basically zero at this time in history. So the reason that we would learn a sword form or some other traditional weapon form is because now you have to learn to manipulate something else that is not you, learn to sense how it moves and how to control how it moves with the same principles that you're learning to control your body and maintain your structure and your internal strength. So when you go into your daily life, whether it's carrying a purse, a backpack, groceries, whatever, you're used to working with something else outside of you and still maintaining that good supportive structure from within. And then finally, the next step is partner training. So what you do with partner training is you add a whole new element of stressors on your body that aren't just an inanimate object that you can control like a sword, but it's another person with their own ability to manage stressors and force placed on them, their own ability to add stressors to you in a way that you may not expect. And so what you do is you take all those structure principles that we've trained all this time and you start working with a partner. And the partner training is called push hands, and it's a flowing exercise where you basically work on establishing a flow with one another, and then you try to basically get each other off balance. So you can either pull or you can push, and you're just trying to get the other person off balance. They're trying to get you off balance. And as you do that, you start to find, where are the areas in my structure that aren't actually as strong as I thought they were? That person's going to help you find them. And you're going to help them find the areas in their structure where they're not quite as strong as they thought they were. And you can refine those skills so that when you go back to your basic training, whether it's just standing or doing form practice, you've refined that internal structure and that internal strength through partner practice. And so the partner practice and the solo training complement each other, and they help build and refine so that you get more and more stable, more and more strong, more and more balanced as you practice. So this has just been a really quick overview, very basic look at Tai Chi. I hope it's given you tools that you can use to approach your life from a very balanced place. I hope it's piqued your interest in Tai Chi, and I hope that you will continue to practice these exercises and learn more Tai Chi in your future. Thank you so much for joining me in this series. I wish you all the best in your future and all the best in your future training. Take care.